What is going on, you guys, and welcome back and welcome to the 1 year anniversary of Moto Daily. Today I'm bringing you guys a documentary. I asked you guys on my YouTube, my Instagram, and my TikTok to ask me a bunch of questions. I think we have about 15 or 20 questions. I don't care. I told you guys I didn't care how weird, stupid, cringy, deep the questions were. We're going to be answering all of them. I got them all on the laptop. Before we start, I just want to say the 1 year of me doing Moto Daily has been absolutely insane. I just started my own clothing brand right here if you guys want to get some. All of the links are in the bio. You guys are absolutely crazy. Because of you guys, I was able to start my own clothing brand. Because of you guys, I was able to get sponsors. Because of you guys, I was able to make this documentary about Moto Daily after 1 whole year. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna be answering all of you guys' questions. We're gonna be getting into a lot of backstories, questions that I haven't answered before, questions that I try to avoid when I do get asked them. So let's get right into it. All right, we're getting into question number 1. Do you think if you broke your leg or arm dirt biking, would you ride again? This is a question that I get asked a lot, and the answer is yes. Guys, so for those who don't know, I broke my ankle in the beginning of this year. It was like the first weekend of 2024. And right when the doctor said you could ride again, I was on the bike. When I was riding my dirt bike while I had a slip-on cast on my ankle because I was that urgent to ride. I love riding my bike. I'll be honest, if it was my back or my neck, something like that, that would be something to think about. But if it's my hand, my wrist, my leg, my foot, I'm getting back on the bike as soon as possible because that's just the mindset that I have when it comes to riding. But to answer the question is yes, I would immediately. The next question, this is another question I get asked a lot, is will you ever ride in races? So for those who don't know, I just signed with a company for the 24 season called AOT Racing. And AOT knows my position. AOT knows that I don't race a lot. AOT knows that, guys, I like trail riding more than track. I've always liked it. I've always liked trail riding more than track, and I probably will always will. I'm not racing for AOT, but I'm still riding for them, and they know that. But I will answer this. I will be racing by the end of the 25 season. I just got a race bike. It's a KX250 for those who are new here. And I went from a KLX 140 to a KX 250. So I'm still getting used to the power, the torque of it, the speed of it, and everything. But by the end of the 25 season, I'm definitely going to be doing a couple races here and there. Right now, I do practice races. So on my local track, you can do practice races. I don't know if every track does this. By the way, my local track is LACR. At the track, there's 3 tracks. It's the Pee Wee track, the main track, and then the vet track. At the vet track and the main track, they do practice races. So there's 2 things. It's open practice. You could be on a KLX 110 out there during free practice with a CRF 450. But when there's practice races, it's only these certain bikes out there so they can, practice racing. Obviously, I do the 250 class. When I was riding my 140, I was doing practice races. It wasn't called 140 class. It was called, it was called Ladies and Minis. I guess, I don't know why that was called that. I guess like minis, meaning like a certain like CC bike that's lower than a 250 or a 150, I guess. And then ladies meaning like, I don't know. I guess if you were on like a 250, you could ride in the Ladies and Minis track or practice race. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. But it was called Ladies and Minis. But by the end of the 25 season, you guys will for sure see me do some practice races. Or you guys will for sure see me do races. I would love to do that. I would love to be racing for AOT in the future. Next question. This is a good question, but it's a very simple answer. What goes through your head while you're racing/riding? Is it focusing on the ruts, the turns, and the jumps? There's certain times where I'm riding and I'm completely focused and I think about what I'm doing before I do it. And then there's times where I'm riding and I don't know what I'm doing. I just like freestyle it and I do whatever I want. Here's what I mean by that. So there's some times where I'm on the track and I'll see an inside turn, I'll look at a turn, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to take the inside instead of the outside, or I'm going to take the outside instead of the inside. Or there's times where I just ride with the track. If I'm in a rut, and if the rut crosses over and it leads me to the outside, that's what I'm doing. So there's some times where I'll like decide what I'm gonna do before I do it, or there's times where I just let the track take me wherever it wants to. But I am always focusing on who's in front of me, who's next to me, who's behind me, because that's really important. If someone's in front of me, I'm not gonna have a person on the track to like cut in front of them, like hit the brakes a little bit, or to try to take them out on a berm, or like try to block someone while they're trying to pass me. That's just not the type of rider that I am on the track. Yeah, there's some times where I'm riding and I'll think about what I'm doing before I do it, and then there's other times when I'm riding and I'll just do whatever the hell the track wants me to do. But as it goes for who's in front of me, who's behind me, that's something that I always pay attention to, and that's something that you guys should always pay attention to as well. As it goes for jumps, I don't really pay attention during jumps. I don't know what you mean by that, because someone asked this. At the end of the question, it says, is it focusing on ruts, turns, and jumps? The only way I'll pay attention on a jump is if it's like, all right, am I going to try to hit the jump, or am I going to roll it? That's the only two things that are going through my mind. Am I going to hit it, or am I going to roll it? My local track, I think there's like 10 jumps on the track. I think I could hit 3 of them. I think there's about 3 of the jumps that I can hit on the track. But I know that now. But every time I go there, I'll start with the smallest jump that I can't hit, and then eventually I'll work my way up to the biggest jump. And if I can hit it, I can hit it. If I don't, we'll try again another day. The last time I was at the track, I was on my 250, and it was my first time riding the 250. It was my first time riding the 250, so I definitely didn't want to like try to do anything that I know I shouldn't. But the next time we go to the track, it'll definitely be more interesting for you guys and me. Another question, do you think you will do a day in the life video on the bike edition? So, okay, here's the little funny backstory behind this. I've been doing YouTube since 2021. But I've been doing Moto Daily for 1 year. So before I made Moto Daily, this YouTube channel was called Fox Thrive. And little me was making vlogs and day in the life videos. And the thing about that is I didn't know how to edit a long video. So, and another problem is when I made my day in the life videos, I would record everything. Like pouring myself a glass of water, letting the dogs out, vacuuming my room. So the day in the life videos, they would be like almost 2 hours long. And I wouldn't clip out anything, like absolutely nothing. As obviously this video is edited, this documentary is going to be edited. There's clips that I'm saying, but will probably not make the quote unquote final cut, if I say that. But I will. But so when I did like 5 day in the life videos when I had my own YouTube channel, and I would always be irritated because I would think I'm putting like a bunch of minutes into editing, day in the life videos. When I say minutes, when I made my old videos, because I didn't know how to edit. So I could take like a 2-hour video and edit it in like 15 minutes. My last video, I think it was like 17 minutes or something, and it took me almost 2 hours to edit. But so when a lot of guys were asking, as I had Moto Daily, to make a day in the life video, I was like, I don't want to do it because I'm just gonna, go through quote unquote all of that work, and then it's gonna get like 2 views. I think the day in the life video has, I'll look right now, I think we're at about 300 views. I think so. Or it might be like 250 or something. Let's look. Our day in the life video right now is at 323. 10-year-old me, if I made a day in a life video, and by the way, this day in life video was 16 minutes. It was 16 minutes. I would make day in a life videos. Okay, let's do this. Old day in a life versus new one. This day in a life video got 323 views. It is 16 minutes long, but it took me like 3 hours to edit. When I would make old day in a life videos on my old channel, the videos were like 1.5 hours. It would take me like 10 minutes to edit, and it got like 3 views. That's the difference between everything. But the answer is yes. Some of you guys want me to make a day in a life video on the bike edition, like, while I'm riding the bike, what I do before I ride, after I ride, the morning of, the night of, stuff like that. I am going to do it. I just need to find the right day to do it, or the right riding day to do it. Like, if we go trail riding, I'm not going to do it. If we go to the track, I'll probably do it. So the day in a life video, you guys will probably get by the end of 24 or beginning of 25, because I just did a day in a life video not that long ago. Definitely the early 2025 is when you guys will get another day in a life video. But it makes me excited that you guys are excited to see another one. Another question about riding a track. What gears are you in when you're riding the track, or do you typically shift through gears or stay in the same gears? So there's some people ride that they'll stay in the same gears the whole track. Whether they're jumping, going through a rut, they're on a straightaway, they'll be in the same gear. There's other people where they'll be, first gear, they'll shift to second, then they'll go to fifth, then they'll go down to third, and they'll shift through all the gears. And then there's people like me, where there's 2 gears that you stay in and that's it. So my local track, I know that track very well. If I'm on a straightaway, doing a jump, going through ruts, I'm in 3rd gear. If I'm going through a corner, always 2nd gear. Because a lot of people are like, well, why would you downshift going through a corner? Because it's called RPMs. When I first started riding, I didn't know what RPMs were until about a couple months into riding, maybe even a year. Because you guys know the saying like drop a gear and disappear. It's like, why would you drop a gear, because it makes you go slower. There's times where I'm riding my 250 around my neighborhood and I'll be in like 4th gear going like 30 miles an hour because my RPMs are too high. And then I'll drop it down into 3rd, and the next thing you know, you're going, like 55, 60 miles an hour. So RPMs is probably one of the most important things when it comes to riding. I think so. When it comes to learning how to ride a dirt bike, RPMs is probably going to be your top 3. Number 1 is obviously going to be how to shift. Number 2 is going to be learning your back brake and your front brake. And then number 3 is going to be RPMs. I think those are your top 3 things that you need to know about a dirt bike before you even consider riding it on a track. But I always stay in either, like I said, 3rd gear straightaway ruts or a jump, and then 2nd gear going through a turn. I don't care how long the turn is, how shallow it is, deep. If there's a rut in the turn, I'm always in 2nd gear. On my 140, it was 5th gear. On my 140, it was 5th gear straightaways ruts, because the 140, I was maxed out on my 140. That's why I got a bigger bike. So my 140, it was 5th gear, highest gear, going through ruts, jumps, and whoops. And then going into a corner, I think I shifted all the way down to like 2nd. I don't know why I went that down, so I think I was going like 10 miles an hour through a turn. Next question. This is a basic question, but I like it. What is your favorite freestyle dirt biker? Okay, let's search this up. I don't know what you mean by freestyle. What is a freestyle dirt bike rider? Okay, freestyle dirt bike rider. Do you mean like, okay, it's from, on my computer it's saying freestyle dirt bike rider is like someone that like does jumps and stunts. I don't watch any of that. What I do watch is Supercross and Motocross, so I could give you my top 3 favorite riders. I probably have the weirdest list, because if you ask everyone what's your favorite rider, they'll be like Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, and Tomac, because like all those guys. My lineup is very weird. Chase Sexton, Ken Rocks, and Jason Anderson. The reason why it's Chase Sexton is because he's just good. He's just a good rider. And the reason why it's Roxon and Anderson is because of the backstory behind them. They have a really cool history. Also, when I first started watching Supercross and Motocross 4 years ago, I was like 10 years old. Those were the first 2 riders where I was like, I like them, and I didn't know what bike they were on. I didn't know what they looked like, sound like. I didn't know anything. I just picked those 2 riders. Those are got to be my top 3. Before Sexton just got on my top 3 though. Before Sexton, I didn't even have a top 3. It was just my top 2. Top 3 in 250 class, because that was 450. 250 class is probably going to be, I'm going to combine West Coast and East Coast into one. I'm going to go Ty Mastercool just got up there with Hayden Deegan and RJ Hampshire. Never mind. I would replace Hampshire with Tom Leah. Those are my top 3 for 250s. Alright, so this question is gonna take me 30 minutes to answer this question. This next question is gonna go into a long, this is gonna take a while to answer. What is your worst injury you've ever had while dirt biking? This is funny. If you guys want to watch the whole video on this, I explain it better. You can just click the link up here. Alright, so my worst injury while dirt biking, is probably going to be when I fractured my ankle. So I'm going to go over the whole story behind this. So we go to this trail riding place called Roher Flats. And there was this one trail. It took us 3 tries to do this trail. The first time we did this trail, we were like 30 minutes into riding, and my dad stopped and he goes, "I don't know how far up this trail goes, so let's just turn around and we'll go back and we'll do simple trails." We go, "Okay." And then on our way back home, we look at the maps and we're like, "Okay, now we know where the trail leads. We'll do it next time we go." Second time we do this trail, we go up. We found this guy who was laying down. He broke his collarbone, and we had we stopped, we talked to him for a couple minutes. My dad, we both left, and we left him up there. My dad had his location, because we called 911, but we had to be down there. We had to be down, like, at the campground to tell the paramedics where he was. But we had his location, so, like, we didn't leave him in the middle of nowhere. So we went down there. My dad's on the 250, I'm on the 140, so and we were like an hour into trail riding. My dad got all the way down to the bottom in like 40 minutes. I think it took me, I'm not even joking, I want to say maybe an hour and a half to get down there, which was it was annoying. And I was stuck behind like all these like enduro riders that were going like 10 miles an hour, and it was brutal. We got down there, paramedics came, they picked him up, and my dad and I were like, we're not going to go all the way back up there, because we were like an hour up there. So we're like, let's just do it another day. We do it another day. This is the 3rd time trying to do this freaking trail. We go up there, and we finally made it to the top. There was like an overlook of the lake, overlook of all the mountains. It was amazing. We're 10 minutes away from, so we go back down. We're 10 minutes away from finishing this trail. But when you get off the trail, you go back on the main road, and we were like 20 minutes away from the truck. So in total, we were about 35 minutes away from the truck. We're 10 minutes away from getting off of the trail, and we're going to have to put the mic right here for this so I could use both of my hands. Is this going to stay? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Magical. 10 minutes away from getting off of the trail, and there's a rut right here, and I'm going like this. So my tire, I don't know if you guys have ever been in this position before, but, I was on a slope, so my bike, it slid into the rut, and I gas it, I go to turn out of it, the handlebars turn to the right, they lock up, because they turn so fast, and my GoPro was on my helmet, and I was not recording. I stopped recording about 20 minutes before this happened. My feet lift up off the pegs, so the front of my feet are in front of the tire, and I'm still grabbing onto the handlebars. So when I fell, my left ankle, it just folded like this, and my bike was still running. The first thing I did is you always crawl to your bike to turn it off, because you never leave the bike running. That's like the number 1 rule. After I turned off the bike, here's what the pain felt like. It felt like 5 bodybuilders were squeezing the shit out of my ankle. It was brutal. So I was laying down and I was facing up, and I took off my goggles and I threw it. So I'm laying on the ground and I'm looking up, and my dad's ahead of me because my dad's always in front of me. And I'm waiting for my dad to come back, and my dad turns around, and and by the way, I wasn't crying because of adrenaline. My dad comes around the corner, and all I kept saying, he goes, "Are you okay?" I go, I broke my ankle. That's the first thing I kept saying. So my dad's like, "Well, we got to get you back to the truck, so let's go." It's my left ankle. I stood up, and I collapsed to the ground because I was so dizzy. I stood up, and everything around me was just spinning, so I fell right back down to the ground. So and we were in the sun. I crawled to the other side of the trail, and there was like this cliff, and I was in the shade, and I was just laying down, and my dad's like, let's go back to the truck. I felt bad because I knew my dad's trying to help. That's what dads do. But I was yelling. I was like, "You gotta leave me alone for a minute, because I gotta lay down." Because I knew if I got back up, I would have fell again. So I lay there for about 5 minutes, and then I get up and I'm fine. We were about 20 minutes away from the truck. It took about 30 minutes to get back there, maybe even 40, because it was my left ankle that hurt, and your shifter's on your left side, so I couldn't shift. So I was riding back. I was like shifting like this, but I didn't have the energy to do it all the time. So I think I was riding back to the truck in like 2nd gear. We got back to the truck, and I'm laying in the bed. My dad's like, "You want to go home?" "Yeah, I want to go home." So we go back. My dad's like, "Take Tylenol and then, lay on the couch." And I call my mom. I tell her what happens. My mom thinks I'm being dramatic. My brother thinks I'm being dramatic. Even my dad, because I'm not going to lie, I'm a dramatic person in general, but I was not joking in this scenario at all. And I go upstairs, and I'm ready to take a hot shower, and I'm limping upstairs. My dad's like goofing around with me. I was like, "No, it really hurts." I take off my riding pants. I was still in my gear, by the way. I take off my riding pants, and I don't know if I could pop up a picture of it. It looked like it was a golf ball, right where my shin is. It was a golf ball, tennis ball size. And I limped back downstairs, and I go in the garage, and I tell my dad, well, I call my mom, and I showed her a picture. She's like, go to the emergency room. So I call my dad, and we go to the emergency room. This was probably one of the worst. Every emergency room is horrible. This was the worst one yet. We got into this emergency room at about 5 o'clock. We left there at about 10 o'clock at night. We were sitting in the waiting room for about an hour, and then we were sitting in the doctor's, in the office room for about, I want to say maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And, the doctor goes, it's fractured. We did the x-ray, so he gave me crutches and a cast. And then the rest was just physical therapy, doctor's appointments. It took me like 3 months to get back on the bike. But yeah, that was the worst crash I've ever had, worst injury. Maybe not the worst injury. I think, knock on wood, I think my worst injury was when I split my head open, but dirt bike related, that was my worst injury. All right, let's get into the next question is, what is your favorite hobby besides dirt biking? Favorite hobby besides dirt biking is probably nothing. Probably nothing. There's one thing is probably going to be, one thing is probably going to be photography. I have the camera. This is the camera that I shoot all my pictures with. It's probably going to be photography. I take pictures of dirt biking, dirt bike riders, cars, horses, or dogs. So besides dirt biking and motocross, it's probably going to be photography. I like photography, but I don't do it as much as I used to because I do, I'm all into motocross now. But besides dirt biking, it's going to be photography. This is a long question. Why are you guys making me read this long? When you are off of this earth and gone off of this earth, what do you want people to remember you as? Me personally, I'm still reading the question. Me personally, I want them to think that motherfucker was crazy, balls of steel, but also not an asshole. Oh, that's funny. When I'm gone off of this earth, whether it's tomorrow, 5 years from now, or 40 years from now, 50, 60, when I'm gone off of this earth, I want people to think like he was funny, he was smart, he was really nice, but also, like, he didn't, mess around with people. Like, if someone was, being an asshole to him, he would, shut them up. And that's the way I am. So one of my best friends, he knows this. I'm probably the nicest person you guys will ever meet. I can be a complete asshole and really rude to you guys if you guys are rude to me. That's just the way I am. But that's how I want people to remember me. That's how I want people to remember me by, is when I'm, dead. Is that, first of all, he loved what he was doing. He loved motocross. He loved filming videos. He loved all that stuff. He was super nice, but if someone was, being, rude to him, he wouldn't, be he wouldn't, just be whatever, because that's just not the type of person that he was. That's how I want someone to remember me by as. And when I say, you're so under me, I'm not saying I'm going to get into a fist fight, but I don't like it when people talk all over me. So, when I say that, I mean, I'll say something in front of them. I'll say, I'm not just going to, let it slide, let it roll over my shoulder. I'll bring it up. That's how I would want people to remember me as. When I'm dead, like I said, either tomorrow, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, it's going to be the same thing. Do you go to school? Do you go to school? I ask this because you film videos all the time during the week while school hours. It's currently 11:54 a.m. as I'm filming this. Everyone's in school right now except me. No, I'm joking. I don't know if anyone knows this. I'm homeschooled. I don't go to school. I go to school, but I don't. So I do this online school. And it's school from Tuesday, Wednesday, and so it's school 3 days a week for 4 hours a day. If you go to a public school, it's 5 days a week for 7 hours a day. I've been homeschooled since, I call it online school. I've been doing online school since COVID started. For the past 4 years, almost 5. Right when I got into dirt biking is right when I became homeschooled. Would I go back to public school? Absolutely not. Homeschool, it's easy, it's nice, it's simple. I'm still getting, everyone's like, oh, you're not gonna get the prom experience or interactions or field trips. By the way, I don't give a shit about prom. Second thing, field trips. We do field trips. My first year I was in this school, we did a field trip to Universal Studios. We just did a field trip to the Warner Brothers, like a whole free, like trip there. So I have classmates and teachers and all this stuff. My best friend, who we went on vacation with, I met in the online school. That's a really good school. But I do school, but I don't go to public school, for those who are wondering. Obviously, this person. Now we're getting into some of the real questions right here. I don't know if I want to answer this. This is going to be tough. Not really, though. What is your real name? And why don't you share it? I'm going to answer it because I'm not scared of anything. What is my real name? So my YouTube channel name is Moto Daily, and everyone calls me Moto because it's short for Moto Daily. The reason why I don't share my real name is because I have no need to. Like, I don't have to be like, hey guys, that's just, like, why? I don't have a reason to share my real name. Like, it's not because, like, I'm not allowed to share it, privacy reasons. Because in my old YouTube channel, I used to say my real name a lot, and I still do sometimes. Like, if it slips out, I have a sign in my room with my name on it. A lot of you guys have seen it. There is a bunch of people out there that know my real name. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. Because I really don't give a shit either way. But I'm going to answer this question. This is my first time actually saying my real name, though, like knowing that I'm telling everyone. So my real name is Andrew. That is my real name. And I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. That's my real name. I can show you guys the poster or the sign in my room with my name on it. My real name is Andrew. Why don't I say it? Because I don't have a reason to. I don't be like, hey guys, I'm Andrew, and I don't have a reason. I don't even say like, hey guys, I'm Moto Daily. Like, I don't do that either. So it's the same thing. But that is my real name. And there's a couple people that found out what my real name is, whether I said it by accident, it slipped out, or they saw the sign in the room, they're like, would you prefer if I called you Andrew or Moto? This is gonna sound cringy and corny as shit. Online, on YouTube, me personally, I would prefer Moto or Moto Daily over Andrew. No, I love all of you guys. Everyone that watches the videos, thank you guys so much. The reason why I would prefer Moto, because if someone calls me by my real name, it feels weird because it's like, I don't know who, half of you guys, I don't know who you look like, I don't know who you sound like. I know you guys are amazing people, but I'm just saying, the name, unless you guys had met me in person, then you could call me by my first name. That's the rule. We just made it. That's the rule. If you met me in person, you can call me by my real name, unless I go to school with you. Other than that, let's just keep it the YouTube name. No, but honestly, I don't really care. You guys can call me whatever you want. There's this one content creator that I watch called the Dogo Moto, and I've been watching him for like 2 years. And I think the beginning of 24, he did a commercial with Progressive, and he had to say his real name, and his real name is Paul. He goes, hi, I'm Paul, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Dogo Moto. That's his company. The first time I ever said my real name was when I was doing a video for AOT, when I signed with AOT Racing. They wanted me to say my real name, so I had to say hi, my name's Andrew, and I ride for AOT Racing. So like I said, I don't care. Like, if someone's like, what's your, I think it's cringy. Okay, you guys can look at my old videos, I didn't used to show my face or say my name. Why didn't I show my face? For views, and it got me views. I think me not showing my face got me like 1,000 subs on TikTok, or 1,000 followers on TikTok, and it got me like 400 subs on YouTube. Not showing my face, and it got me views and everything. I stopped not showing my face because it got boring. Trying to film the camera like when the phone's like this and stuff like that, it's just annoying. But yeah, that's my real name, and if you guys want to call me by that, do whatever you want. Because you know what? I'm not gonna stop you because I really don't care. But, yeah, was that like the reaction you guys were looking for? Or we should have made like a whole video based off, by the way, every other question that you guys asked, only like 2 people asked the same question. You guys want to know how many people asked you guys want to know how many people asked what is your real name? Over 12 of you guys, we'll say 10, over 10 of you guys, 10 people asked, what is my real name? Every other question that I've answered this whole time, it was only like 1 or 2 people. Over 10, and I guarantee you, people are still asking questions. I guarantee you, if I go on my Instagram and I refresh, there's like going to be 5 more people that ask that same name, or that same question, guarantee it. Why did you, okay, we have 3 more questions left. We're going to start off with the easiest question, or we're going to start off with the shortest answer and then go to the longest. Dream dirt bike. I just made a video on this 2025 KX450 SR. That's my dream bike. When I was filming the video, I didn't care for it, but when I stopped filming, I was like doing more research on it and like, oh, that bike is amazing. What was my first dream bike? A 2025 KX250F. That is my new dream bike, is a 2025 KX450 SR. That bike is beautiful. The only thing is I would take off that Pro Circuit exhaust. I would. If you guys didn't see the video about that, go watch it. It's on my YouTube. I would take off that Pro Circuit exhaust, put an FMF on it, or a BMP exhaust. Everyone asks, what's the exhaust on your 250? It's a BMP exhaust. We've owned this 250 for 4 years. I've only seen 2 people with a PMB exhaust. That is the only reason why I want to keep that exhaust, because it's a unique exhaust. It's a nice exhaust. It's a known brand exhaust, but it's a nice exhaust. If you look at every single bike has an FMF exhaust. Every single one. Guarantee it. The BMP exhausts are pretty rare to see, in my opinion. But yeah, that is my dream bike. Next question. This is going to be a little longer. Why did you start making videos? I started making videos in 2021. That's why if you guys look at my logo or look at my stickers, it said established 2021. Why did I start? I started making videos, so in 2021, it was a year after COVID officially became a thing. So we were in lockdown, and I was bored out of my mind. And this is when I just became homeschooled as well, or online school. And I told my brother, I said, can you make a YouTube channel for me? He goes, sure. So he makes a YouTube channel for me. You guys, this YouTube channel has had 3 names: Fox Vlogs, Fox Thrive, and Moto Daily, by the way. When I first started making it, was Fox Vlogs. My mom goes, you could make videos, but make them private. 11-year-old me. Why? I want everyone to see, all my videos. Mom's like, make it private. I don't want you out in, public like that. On the internet. So I made videos, and my brother's like, you could just do it unlisted, so you share it with your family members. I was like, fine. I filmed a bunch of videos, and I never put any one of them on private. They all got put on public, and my mom never found out. My mom never found out about it. She doesn't care now because of, all the stuff I'm doing now with it. But I started making videos because it's simple, because I was bored. If COVID never happened, I would have never made a YouTube channel. Never. I was bored. I was in my room, and I said, I want to make a YouTube channel, so that's what I did. Guys, I was the cringy 11-year-old making TikTok dances and transitions, and, how TikTok addicted are you audios, and I was that cringy 11-year-old that you guys see now in 2024. But I grew up. That's why when I see all these cringy 11-year-olds, it's like, you can't hate on them that much. Because eventually they'll grow up just like everyone else did, and do I regret making all those cringy videos? Absolutely. So if you guys are making cringy videos, and if you think they're cringy, delete them. No, I'm joking. But, guys, I still have cringy videos that I made back then. And I'm not gonna say that, because you guys are gonna leak me. Every kid is cringy, that's just the way it works. I don't like cringy kids on my For You page. So when I see it, I get irritated. But I was that cringy kid on your For You page. So we all just have to get used to it. All right, here's the last question of the documentary. The last question, the final question. What is your worst interaction with a sponsor? This is a story I've only told once, and I will never tell it again. The reason why is because this company, they follow me. They still follow me. I don't know why, but they do. When I first got my e-bike, I wanted to do an e-bike build on it. But I will never, ever spend any money on my e-bike because I would rather put it towards my dirt bike. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to get sponsored by like a bike company, you know? I reached out to this one company, and they were, I'm not going to say the name of the company, I'm going to be respectful. This company, I sent them like this whole paragraph about my name and what I do and this and this and that and that. And they go like, their response is like, yeah, for sure, is their response. I was like, all right. Like, okay, I was like, okay. So then they're like, what do you want to build? What do you want to get? So this was like a 3-day interaction. And I told them everything that I want to do. They're like, okay, like, we'll get that all set up for you. I was like, okay. So the next day, and they're like, oh, we'll get back to you. So the next day, I didn't hear anything from them. I was like, all right, whatever. The third day, they messaged me. And by the way, while we're interacting with this on day one, they were not professional at all. They were like giving me like one-word answers like K or like, you know, like they were like, when they were typing like a typical teenager. Like when they would say you, they would put like the letter U. Like it was just very unprofessional. I was still being professional. By the way, guys, this happened like a couple months ago. Day 3, and they messaged me. They go, hey man, if you want to make this happen, you got to let me know because I have a lot of other customers that want to buy stuff, you know? And he puts like a bunch of question marks. He's like, so you have to make up your mind and let me know. It's like, dude, you said, like, that was bitchy. I go, you said you would, I didn't say that. I go, but I said this thing. In my mind, you said you would reach out to me. I was waiting for your response. And you're giving me sarcasm and like, you know, like I got other, you know, companies or other people. Like, that shit's a bitchy move. I'll still be professional. I was like, yeah, like I'm down to do it. I'm sorry for making you wait and whatever. I wanted free stuff. I just wanted free stuff, okay? So it's a day later, and he goes, hey, I'm sending out all of your stuff. It's all packaged up and ready to go. I go, okay. He goes, the fee is $90. I go, what? He goes, yep, it's $90. In my mind, why wouldn't you tell me that I had to pay a fee before we talked and got into all of this bullshit argument, and you're now just telling me that I had to pay a fee? And by the way, this guy's still being unprofessional. I go, the way this guy was being very still unprofessional. I was still being professional. I go, I know some companies don't send out stuff for free. Some companies do. If you and your team would be down to send out this product for free, I'll review them. I'll give you a chance. I'll, you know, promote your company, add you to my sponsor list, and you know all that stuff. They go, no, like we can't do that. I go, and they're like, nah, like we can't do that, fam, or something like that. I go, then I'm not buying off of you. And then they go, I go, okay. I go, then don't worry about it. I'll find someone else. They go, okay, good luck. And then they put like a LOL emoji. It's like, dude, are you serious? I want to say the name of this company so bad and get them bad reviews. But also, I don't know, maybe it was just this one employee that was being a jackass that I was messaging. That was my worst. And by the way, it says, what's your worst interaction with a sponsor? They were never a sponsor by me because of this. This is my worst interaction trying to get a sponsor. Dude, this company was a complete asshole. The guy was, so the reasons why I didn't like this guy, he was unprofessional, he was rude, and the sarcasm was so stupid. It's like this guy was probably in his 40s or 50s or 30s, an adult working. How come a 14-year-old kid, I was 13 at the time, how come a 13-year-old kid was being more professional than a full-on adult? Like, that's just crazy to me. That was probably my worst interaction I've ever had with someone. And they still follow my Instagram account, so it's kind of funny. At the end of the day, I was like, I'm pissed that this guy wasted my time, but I'm also happy that, like, I'm not working with this jackass. You know, it was a mixture of both. Wow, I think that's it. I think we answered all of the questions that you guys asked me. Yeah, we went through every single one of them. We went through some deep stories and you know, questions that I've never asked before, or questions that I've never answered before, stories that I'll never tell again. That was fun. I hope you guys like this. Before we end it, I do want to talk about something really quick. A lot of you people are saying like, oh, like where do we see Moto Daily in 5 years? In 5 years, I see us having a YouTube plaque. I see us having employees working for Moto Daily Apparel. I see us having big sponsorships. I see us doing like meetups and like just stuff like that. I think Moto Daily in 5 years will be absolutely insane. Cause in 5 years I'll be 20 years old in 5 years. So we'll have also in 5 years. I think we'll have in 5 years. We're probably think about it. In 5 years, we probably won't have the 250 anymore. We probably won't have the 125 anymore. We probably won't have the e-bike anymore. Everything would be different in 5 years. Isn't that crazy? But in 5 years, I can see this growing extremely more. We grew so much in a year. In a year, we're almost at 2,000 subs. We have huge sponsors, starting our own clothing brand. And when I say our, it's because of you guys. Because if no one watched my videos, I wouldn't be able to do this. That's just the way it works. 5 years, I could see this, getting crazy big, and I could just see it, just being just beyond huge. That's it for the whole thing. I don't know how to end it. The reason why a lot of people are going to think this is a podcast, it's not. Couple of reasons why. Reason why it's not a podcast is because there's only one person here. I got no friends. Reason number two, a reason why I call this a documentary is when you learn about someone. I think you guys learned a lot about me in this, however long this documentary is going to be. I think you guys learned a lot about me in this video than you guys have in the past year of watching my videos. Because we answered some questions. I'm going to look back at the questions and the questions that I've never answered before. What was your worst interaction with a sponsor? I've never answered that before, and I never said that before. I said it once on a TikTok, and I deleted it. What is your real name? We talked about how, we got into some deep questions. We talked about how I want people to think about me when I'm dead, when I'm gone. But then we had some light questions. What's your favorite hobby? Will you ever do a day in a life video and stuff like that? But then we got into, more deep questions, and, we got into a lot of backstories, stuff like that. So that's the reason why I called this a documentary, is because I would never talk, well, number one, for this long, and number two, I would never talk about all of these different topics in one video. So that's why I would call this a documentary. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. As I am filming this, it is November 20th. This is going to take me a couple days to edit. This is going to take me a couple days for the trailer to come out. As you guys are watching this, obviously the trailer already came out and everything. When I posted my first video, and I never thought that we would be where I'm at today with the sponsors and the clothing brand and all that stuff. So it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, we're gonna sign off right now, and then we'll see you guys in the next video. And thank you guys so much. Honestly, thank you guys for everything. The past year has been amazing. I know I've said it a bunch of times. I'm saying it again. Thank you guys so much for the past year and everything that I've been able to do because of you guys. It's absolutely insane. And I can't wait for us to grow more. I can't wait for us to grow more in the future. And yeah, that's it. We're wrapping it up.